Interesting that you say this, because we did hear the Minister of Finance say this particular statement too, that when you look at how many we are and how much we actually make from crude oil compared with all the other countries who are also oil-producing countries, we're quite poor and we don't have enough. She made this argument in relation to subsidy. Because a lot of people were saying, why should you take it out? It is the only thing that we benefit. And, you know, the argument went on and on and on. It's just interesting that you make this particular statement. How do we then focus on growing the economy? Because she's talking now. She said something about she wants this budget it proves that we're a non-oil economy. And people are saying, does that happen overnight? Are we really sure that we can fund our 2015 budget from what we will make from, you know, the taxes that we're going to be imposing on luxury goods, as it were? And are you also saying, because you also say it's a long road, how feasible do you think all of this is going to be in 2015? Yeah.
Okay, just to give you some facts around the fact that the oil that we produce is not sufficient to take care of our needs, even if you have it at $100 per barrel. South Africa is not seen as an oil-producing country. It's also a smaller economy than Nigeria, at least effective from 2013. South Africa in 2013 fiscal year made 813 billion rand. That's about $75 billion from taxes. Nigeria made, how much did we make? All our revenues, not only tax, federally collected revenue, including the sale of crude oil belonging to Nigeria, was about 10.8 trillion. If you convert that to dollars, it's 65 billion. So South Africa is making more from taxes than Nigeria is making from taxes and oil combined. And it's still a bigger economy we have. So the truth of the matter is we need to get to a stage where we no longer rely on crude oil. We should be relying on diversifying the economy so that when businesses do well, and individuals do well, they pay taxes. You can plan with that. It's more predictable. So long run, it has to be taxed. And that leads to the issue of subsidy that you mentioned. Truth of the matter is, sometimes even me, that I consider myself to be an expert on issue of economy and accounting, I struggle with the maths that we do in Nigeria. So on one hand, we say that the benchmark is $65 per barrel, and we're still talking about subsidy. Truth of the matter is, at $65 per barrel, you should be talking about less than 97 naira per liter. So in which case, if you do your budget, if you compare the budget they're putting forward for 2015 with what we had in 2014, there's a reduction of about 400 billion naira. That's not even up to the amount we've spent on subsidy. So if we don't have to take care of subsidy next year, it means that we're even fine to maintain the level of expenditure we had last year. And should the price of crude oil go up, it means that we also have excess crude accounts. Why don't you use excess crude account to take care of subsidy if it becomes necessary?
So you think that this is actually, this dwindling price of oil presents us an opportunity to deregulate? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. It's a fantastic opportunity. There are some tough decisions you have to make as a leader. When you are in surplus and you're having significant excess crude accounts, it's not the time to make those decisions. Nobody would understand. But when the situation is tough, like what we're going through now, that's the time to make those tough decisions. And my view is actually that if you deregulate now fully and remove subsidy, price will remain the same. So which means by the time the price is recovering, which is going to be another 1 or 2 years if we're lucky, it's going to be a gradual process. And then you can focus on infrastructure and development between now and then, so people can see the concrete results coming from the fact that you don't spend money anymore on subsidy.
You say 1 or 2 years. Let us not forget that spot price of crude as at today is hovering around 60, 59, 58, 61, you know, about that range. And yet we're optimistic that, you know, it's going to improve come 2015, and we've pegged our benchmark price at 65. In your opinion, is that wise?
I don't think it's wise, because both the forecast in terms of demand worldwide as well as the price, analysts are cutting both the demand as well as the price. I do not see how we're going to get to average of 70, 65 next year. I don't think it's prudent. My view would be that let's use something like $50. Now, when you do a budget based on $50. Then you have what I call conditional budgeting. So $50, I need to take care of essential things, defense, recurrent expenditure. Should I then have $1 more? What do I do next? That's conditional budgeting. Rather than trying to have 65, that is not realistic. Another issue is we focus too much on the central government, federal government. We're not saying a lot about the states. They're all passing their budgets. We don't even know what benchmark they have used, and they're relying on the money from the federation account. So when things don't go as we plan, then even we have media reports saying that some of the states are already defaulting on the payment of salaries. If you look at it from January to date, and you calculate the average price of crude oil per barrel, it's still well over $80. Our benchmark for last year was $77.5. We shouldn't even be complaining yet. We should still be talking about excess to date. So, but then again, how these things work, sometimes it's difficult to understand. But being prudent, in my view, I think 65 is not what we should be talking about.
What will you be telling the state governments if you could have a word with them?
I would just tell the state government to focus on internally generated revenue. I think many of them are lazy. It's convenient to just go to Abuja, get federal allocation. But if you look inwards and say, how can we empower people? When you empower your people and they're employed, you can then tax them personal income taxes. You collect money, it goes around. Use the money to, we don't have sufficient quality infrastructure in Nigeria. So even when I want to construct roads, build rails, build hospitals, I'm employing people. So as government is spending money, government is collecting personal income tax back, and so on and so forth. So they all need to look inwards. They need to build capacity. There's this survey that we do in PwC with the World Bank. It's on the ease of paying taxes. It shows that Nigeria ranks 179 out of 189 countries worldwide. What that means is, even for companies and individuals who say, I can't wait to pay my taxes, that process is extremely complicated in Nigeria. That discourages people paying taxes. So the real solution for us is to simplify the tax system, increase the tax base. You need to have a strategy for the informal sector. They're huge. Once you do that, you find that we have a very large base of taxation, so that you don't need to introduce any new taxes. You just make more money with the same tax rate you have already by collecting from more people.
All right, thank you so much. Taiwo Oyedele, Head of Tax and Corporate Advisory Services, PricewaterhouseCoopers. But just before you said something about we should be buying fuel at a cheaper rate, even as the oil prices are dropping. Do you think the independent marketers will let that be?
I don't think it's them. If you go to the PPPRA website as of today, even by their own admission, the retail price is about 98. If you look at it, the landing cost is somewhere around 80. So they've added all manners of, storage, haulage. But let's even give it to them. 98 is not very different from 97. So government actually says as of today, subsidy is about 1 naira or 2 naira per liter. We're very close to the 97. So this is the point. I think that this decline in crude oil price presents a very unique opportunity for Nigeria, not only to diversify the economy, but to take tough decisions that are necessary and in the interest of Nigeria going forward.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Sunrise Daily, we'll take a break now. I'll be back shortly. Please join us again. Well, thank you so much for letting us be a part of your morning and indeed the week. Thank you for everyone that sent in a comment. Just this one, John Paul says, I think ensuring Nigerians adopt a system of tax payment is key to ensuring same Nigerians hold their leaders accountable. That's from John Paul. Thank you so much to every other person that sent in a comment. I am Neo Taigwe.
Well, we do hope that you've taken something out of our talk throughout the week. Thank you for watching. I'm Maokbe Ugu.
Have yourself a good day.